Saddest backstories ever from Derek FDB.
Sad backstories are sad, but they're also cool. A sad backstory could turn a pretty boring character into a beloved character within seconds. The empathy we feel for the character connects us to them. They don't necessarily have to be just like us or go through the same things we did. Like, I know I didn't come from space and my clan definitely didn't get massacred, but I'm still both of these people and these people and these people. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be going over some of the saddest backstories in history. Backstories so sad, they'll give you clinical depression. Like, take for instance,
everyone in Naruto.
Now, if you know
Not
Naruto,
like a specific person, but like
every
everyone in
one of these dudes
Naruto.
went through something traumatic in their childhood, and that's no exaggeration. Naruto had a demon locked in him. Sasuke lost his whole clan. Choji was fat. Everybody went through it. All these
Choji was fat.
And 17.
That's crazy.
But amongst all these super sad Naruto backstories, the saddest one has to go to my boy Itachi. Now, Kakashi's is pretty sad too. I can't lie, but I think Itachi's is a little sadder. Itachi was born in the middle of the Third Great Ninja War, which is like being born in World War II. He was a very gifted child. They say he had the reasoning of Hokage at the age of 7. And have y'all seen my boy cook an egg? And while one might see these sadness as a blessing, they were also a curse.
I actually only watched like 4 episodes of Naruto and then I found it boring. So I don't know if that's like an L take, but Naruto, I just found it really boring. I don't watch anime though. So, I mean, the closest I've ever watched to anime, and I know it's not anime, but the closest I've ever gotten is I watched all of Avatar because it's like the best series like known to man other than The Simpsons. But yeah.
He led to him joining a group called the Anbu at the very young age of
I guess I just never really gave it a chance. I never really gave anime a chance overall.
11. And if y'all ain't know, the people in the Anbu are no bueno. They pretty much did all the dirty and evil work for the Leaf Village. They're kind of like some organizations in real life. So being in a group like that at the age of 11 is insane. When I was 11, GTA 5 had just come out, and I was still too scared to go to the big hill place on the map by myself. There's no way I would have been able to hang. Imagine being in the freaking ninja CIA. And not only that, but bro became the captain of them at the age of 13. So you know he had to handle some way darker and way more messed up missions. And that leads us to the saddest part of Itachi's backstory, the massacre of his entire clan. And the worst part is it was all done by him. Well, some was done by Obito, but it was mainly him. And while this might look terrible on paper, because, you know, you can't exactly make a YouTube apology video for murking your entire clan.
I messed up. Let's see. Oh, ad break. I hate these. Alright.
Itachi practically had no choice. He was 13 at the time, and he hated war. So when this ugly, crusty, old piece of Shanzo gave Itachi an ultimatum, his hands were pretty much tied. He pretty much told him...
This literally... you guys remember the... So I've never watched this, right? But this looks exactly like Carmen Sandiego. When I watched it, I was like 7. This just like this whole vibe, that whole like higher up versus like lower down criminal situation. Why? That's so funny.
Murk his entire clan and save his brother while also preventing a war, or they'll do it themselves. And obviously, we know what he chose. And that's what makes this the saddest one in Naruto. He couldn't do nothing about it. He killed his mom, his dad, his girl, bro, his girl. And it's not like anybody knows how noble he is. At the end of the show, I'm pretty sure 99.9% of the cast, except maybe Neji, because, you know, thinks Itachi is a horrible person. And they're not completely wrong. He did torture Sasuke and murk innocent children. But it was to protect y'all sorry butts and y'all sorry ass future. It's just too sad, man. It's too sad. But this sad stuff is a common occurrence in anime. Like, take the GOAT of sad backstories, for example, Demon Slayer. This show is so good at giving people tragic backstories, it makes you feel bad for objectively bad people. People who have killed hundreds, if not thousands.
So I literally do not watch anime, so I bet a lot of this is going to be anime because this guy's a huge anime guy. Shout out to Derek FDB. He is such a good YouTuber. But, yeah, I don't really watch anime.
Sense of innocence. You start shedding a tear for them. Now imagine we replace one of these demons with a bad person from our world, like Bill Cosby. Y'all see what I'm saying? That junk would not fly in the real world. Not a single tear will be shed. The show Little Bill could have been a 4-scene explanation of how much Bill Cosby's life sucked. And still, I'm not crying. Only way I even consider even feeling a little bad for him is if he has a backstory like my boy. Now, this
Oh.
old man, not only have I shed a tear for him, but he could commit almost any crime, and I'm forgiving him. He could be stealing candy from a baby, leak GTA 6. He could rob me. I'm forgiving him. His backstory is just as sad. I am 1000% sure when the producers of this movie finished those first 12 minutes, they were like, yep, they're gonna need antidepressants after this one. So we open with this little kid in the theater. That's our boy Carl. And since he's still a kid, he still has all that passion, that dream big mentality we all had as kids. Now I'm just trying to make it through the day. And while some kids want to be ass,
This is so facts, though. He has the saddest backstory ever. Let's just make someone fall in love with someone. Let them get married, right? Have their whole backstory, and then just have her die at the beginning of the movie. In the first 10 minutes of this dang movie, not including logos, that all happens. It's just so packed, and it's kind of sad.
astronauts, ninjas, y'all know, all that cool stuff. Carl, he wants to be
And every single time I see a grape soda, I think of it like those little grape soda tops that we buy at, like, you know, whatever.
adventure, a pilot. And one day while walking, he hears a voice coming from this abandoned house. And when he gets in there, he meets this girl named Ellie, who is probably the most passionate and energetic little girl in existence. Like, she's actually a little crackhead. But she loves adventuring, and that was enough for my boy Carl to fall in love. Carl eventually makes a promise to Ellie to travel to Paradise Falls with her, and this little promise was the start of their relationship. They get married, they buy a house, they fix the house, they go on picnic dates, they work with parrots. Parrots, ladies and gentlemen, parrots. Everything was going splendid. Eventually they want to have a baby, or 9 babies. That's cool too. But sadly, they end up losing the baby, or all 9 of them. I don't know. This seems so sad. But Carl, being the W husband that he is, cheers Ellie up by reminding her of Paradise Falls and that promise they made as kids. And that one little reminder changed everything. They start grinding, stacking up that paper. Oh snap! A tire blew up. No biggie. We'll just get back on track. I mean, he's gotta adjust. He gotta.
Why is this so true,
With all
though?
these setbacks, they eventually forget about Paradise Falls and become 2 adorable old people. But one day, Carl is reminded of Paradise Falls again, and it makes him feel sad that he was never able to fulfill his promise to his wife. And that's when he gets an amazing idea. My boy gets them 2 tickets to Paradise Falls, their dream so close to being fulfilled. But as Ellie is coming up the hill to get her gift, she collapses. And then we
And
see
she
her and
dies.
Carl in the hospital. And then... Why they had to do him like that, man? She didn't even get to go to Paradise Falls. Now my boy Carl is lonely. This movie makes me look at bitter old people in a different light. So next time you're out shopping, you see an old white lady just mean mugging you, or saying mean things, or following you through the aisles, don't assume the worst. Be considerate, guys. She's probably just racist, or lost her husband. I don't know.
She's probably just racist.
Some of y'all might recognize this image, and if you do, I feel you. And those
I don't.
It's from the short 3-minute video that was posted 10 years ago. Damn! And while it may not have as many views as the movie Up, it's debatably sad. Kind of like Up, we follow this boy and girl who meet after the boy protects the girl from a bunch of bullies. He still gets beat up, but it's sweet. Then on the boy's birthday, after no one
Never
shows
seen
up,
this. Wait, what is it called? I need to watch this before we watch the little.
Kind of like Up, we follow this boy and those who don't, it's from. Some of y'all might recognize.
I need to see what this
If
is.
you do, I feel you. And those who don't, it's from the short 3-minute video that was posted.
Life isn't perfect. Sad story. Okay, mom gets pregnant, has a kid. Kid grows up, plays soccer. Oh, this is gonna get me, here. Okay, so kid yells at person for beating up little girl. He gets beat up. He gets taken up. I had to turn off the audio because I'll get, copyright strike. And then they become friends. Well, no, okay. He has a birthday party. No one shows up. Let's just skip around a little bit. Oh, she shows up. Then they grow up together. He goes to war. He comes back and she's dead. Okay, so they get married. Okay.
10 years ago, damn! And while it may not have as many views as the movie,
Yo, Max, welcome to the chat.
Kind of like we follow this boy and girl who meet after the boy protects the girl from a bunch of bullies. He still gets beat up, but it's sweet. Then on the boy's birthday, after no one shows up, the girl does. With a birthday card, the boy is so happy, and it's the sweetest thing ever. I mean, look at it. After that, we watch them grow up together. From kids to teens to adults. And as you can see, they're dating. These two are in love, ladies and gentlemen. He even gets her a dog. Things are going so perfect.
He even
I'm trying to
gets her a
forget the
dog.
title of this video is Life Isn't Perfect. And we learned that very soon. Anyways, they eventually get married.
W's in the shot.
And if you pause it right here, you can see she's pregnant.
W's in the shot.
Aw, come on! Just like in Up, these two sadly lost their baby. But in this case, they decided to
Dang.
adopt. And I'm not gonna lie, call me Ed, but for some reason, first time I watched this, I thought the dog was gonna eat the kid. I don't know. And again, everything's going good with the family. Things are beautiful. Things are magnificent. Maybe life really is perfect.
Oh my god.
They killed the dog, man.
Ain't no
The
way.
dog. What the dog do? This is normally the point where I would start crying, but it gets worse. A few years
No.
go by, the dad gets a call that his wife has the Walter White disease. And to make things even worse than worse, they don't have enough money to pay for the treatment because, you know, medical system. But the dad gets an opportunity to make a lot of money. The only catch is it's the military.
Oh, yeah. Alright.
By 2050, the
So he says bye to his kid and his wife, and he's shipped off into the battlefield. And y'all know how war goes. His friend is shot first, and when things are looking extremely grim, he sits down and pulls out his pocket the birthday card his wife gave him when they were kids. And then he just dies. He dies. And it ends with his kid as an adult and his family at the cemetery where we see.
Oh, and they get
his wife
shot in the
died
head.
too. This is easily one of the saddest videos on the internet, and it's crazy because it's so sad. It's
Dang.
still not sadder than the last person I have on this list.
Oh.
All began on the day of my actual birth.
Oh yeah. Oh, I remember this backstory. That was in like one episode of Phineas and Ferb.
It's a sad backstory. Nobody has anything on this man. Not Hitachi, not Carl, not Guts. This man has truly gone through it all. Duke was born in the very brown country of Druselstein, where both his parents failed to show up to his birth. I don't know. Don't ask me how. This merch didn't have the best.
Where both of his parents failed to show up to his.
On top of being constantly bullied, Duke was a
No.
lonely kid. He had no one to look to. Only things he really looked forward to were his garlic ice cream and his giant pet cockroach. Even on his birthday, the day you're supposed to feel like the most special person in the world, he would have to throw himself a surprise birthday party. What's the surprise? That no one showed up again? And one might
Oh
wonder,
my
well,
gosh.
where are his parents? They surely should be around. Doof's parents freaking suck. They're actually terrible. Top 3 worst in cartoon history. And they take up 2 slots. But this
Wow,
isolation
wait.
They're actually terrible. Top 3 worst in cartoon history. And they take up 2
Who are the worst? Wait. Not cartoon, but they suck. And then those two, and then, okay.
But
That's
this
fair.
isolation experience could have played a big part on why Doof was so smart. This kid was a genius, a Druselstein Einstein. So when it was finally time to display that intelligence at the Druselstein Science Fair, there was no way he could lose. I mean, look at his innators. Like, who is he gonna lose?
It's a nader.
But losing the science fair was only a small L. Not only because he lost again next year with his bigger innator, what happened at the Gimelstunt community pool was much worse. You see,
No.
jumping from the high dive in Gimelstunt was an extremely big deal for some reason. It was separated you from being a man and a schnitzel. So when Doof's dad told him it was his turn to do it, Doof was too scared. He couldn't jump. All those people looking at him, which really wasn't a lot of people, it was like 3.
It was like
made him
3.
nervous. And from that point on, he
That was
deemed
4.
a schnitzel. His parents were so embarrassed, they wore bags over their heads anytime they were seen in public with him. And he wasn't even allowed to walk too close to them. This created an even bigger gap between Doof and his already negligent, dumb,
Wow.
stupid, retarded parents. So it was no surprise. When his dad got an award-winning dog, he named
Wow.
it Only Son. Around this time was also when Doof started doing no work for his family. He would stand out there for hours on it. In the cold, in the snow, in the heat, not allowed to move, not allowed to eat. They had my mans out here like one of those dudes in Times Square. This was also around the time when his little brother was born. And while having siblings should be a ray of hope when you're an only child, especially in Doof's case because he was really lonely, it kind of made Doof's life worse. And not like how having a sibling was.
Yeah, no.
I mean like his
No,
parents
Doof was
borderline-
like, has the worst backstory of any person in any show ever. And I actually thought that when I was like 6 watching the show. I was like, damn. Wow.
hated him after Roger was born. They would send him to school in dresses because they were expecting a girl. Didn't help that Roger was pretty much naturally good at the only thing his mom loved, kickball. At some point, they literally disowned Doof, and he had to live with ocelots, the cats from Minecraft. This is really messed up stuff. The only highlight in Doof's life
I was raised by
the
ocelots.
balloon that Doof got at the carnival, and he painted a face on it. That sounds so sad. And while Balloony had no arms, no legs, the inability to speak, no personality, Doof loved it.
Oh yeah, that's where Balloony came from. I remember now. Yeah, because like in the cave, you know.
Friend, they were locked in, but alas, just like everything else in Doof's life, his happiness didn't last very long. On one fateful night, when he was doing his typical gnome duty, by the way, his family took him back in at this point, so no confusion. Balloony started getting blown away by the wind, and Doof couldn't move. He was on gnome duty, and just like that, Balloony was gone, never to be seen again.
Wow.
Sorry. It's just so sad. And that was only his childhood. In his teenage years, Doof still got bullied, went through breakups, had braces. Braces
I have
suck.
braces.
I had them. And probably the worst of all in his teenage years, while he was doing
Wrong
the
braces.
puppetry show, which he was actually really good at, by the way. So good that he would get attention from girls in the crowd. He got his girl taken away by Huge Hands Hans, a guy with bigger fingers than him. You see what they're implying? Doof's life is just out after
No.
kind of like even in adulthood.
A guy with bigger fingers than him. You see what they're implying?
This girl at some point that
That's
left him
crazy.
for a whale. This man would have every right in the world to hate society, or at the very least, his parents. They suck, but he doesn't. I mean, he is evil, but his evil isn't really that big of a deal. He usually does something stupid or unserious, like the Breadinator or something. Like, who cares? He doesn't let what his parents or society did to him.
The Breadinator.
That's why he's such a great dad to listen. He knows what it means to celebrate your birthday. He knows what it means to struggle. He knows what it means to get out the mud.
Oh my gosh.
He might be from the Bronx. A lot of people like to use that as a crutch. Oh, I was mistreated, so now I gotta mistreat you. Nah, we're fully functional humans. We're not input-output machines. We gotta break the cycles. Everyone should try to be more like Doof. He's not out here being negligent. He's not out here bullying people. I would say he doesn't seek revenge, but sometimes he does, I'll be honest. But overall, he's a stand-up guy.
Cause you bury the blood double. Every single time I think of like Phineas and Ferb, I just think of cause you bury the blood double.
Now, other dimension Doof, his backstory, I understand why he's so evil. He has every right to hate the world.
Oh yeah,
Burn it.
other
Burn it all
dimension.
down. Comment down below which backstory you thought was the saddest, or if I missed any other sad backstories. I know One Piece has a few, but I ain't reading all that. And moral,
I ain't reading all
just
that.
a theory. Okay, theory. Matt Pat.
Yeah, there's another sad backstory. Matt Pat. That's such a good YouTube video. Like, that's actually such a good video. Shout out Derek. Oh my gosh.